What if there was someone who had mastered every form of magic in existence, being of unimaginable power, and yet he chose to enter the Dragon Slayer Academy, not as a teacher, but as a mere trainee? His name is Kim Ho. In the modern world, he was a legendary gamer. Within months of the game, Dragon Slayer Academy launched. He became the strongest player of all. But instead of staying on top, he chose to step back, playing only as support, giving away all his resources to help others. Why? Because his true goal wasn't to be the strongest, but to raise the strongest. And he did, training over 1,000 S-rank heroes in just 1 year. Just when the young man thought his journey conquering the new game was complete, a new system notification suddenly popped up. The game told him, "Congratulations, you've reached a legendary milestone never achieved before. A special mission has been activated. Prevent the Apocalypse X difficulty." When Kim Ho saw that, he immediately thought of those X-rank heroes that cost a fortune to unlock. For a broke guy like him, this was a total steal. Without thinking twice, the dude furiously clicked, not noticing the small warning at the bottom. This is a reincarnation mission. And so what must happen did happen. Kim Ho got iced straight into the Dragon Slayer Academy game. After a few moments of WTF, Kim Ho finally regained his sense only to realize all his skills and gear had been wiped clean. In return, he was given a copy trait and an F-rank amplification skill. Copying made sense, but what even was amplification? While he was still trying to figure out his next move, a new notification appeared. Guide 1 target to survive for 10 minutes to earn the Dragon Slayer Academy starter pack. Countdown begins now. Kim Ho was still feeling pretty optimistic. It's just a newbie mission with weak monsters, right? But when things seem too normal, you know they're about to get weird. And just like that, he was teleported right into a battlefield between 2 boss mon. He bolted in sheer panic. "Boss is already X difficulty, my butt. I need to get out of here." The red dragon cast a spell that looked like the gates of hell just opened. Kim Ho glanced at it and thought, if I get caught in that, I'm toast. But while running, a light bulb went off in his tiny brain. Wait, isn't this the perfect time to test the copy skill? The red and blue dragons were brawling like crazy in the sky. Neither wanted to lose. And Kim Ho, our genius hero, knew to copy a trait, you have to witness the action and identify the target's name and love. After one earth-shaking clash, he came to a conclusion this should work. Kim Ho's eyes, only one target exists. System update. Target trait. Elemental resistance S has been copied. As soon as the copy went through, he nearly fainted from joy. No way, I actually copied an S-rank trait this early. Elemental resistance S massively reduces elemental damage. Jackpot. As he kept walking, he noticed some leaves falling in front of him. I want to get another skill, but without a monor, there's nothing to activate. One S-rank trait is good enough for now. But then he paused and frowned. Huh? Why is the wind blowing backward? Oh great. Things got all quiet, and he thought the chaos was over. Who would have guessed the dragon took a deep breath? On the other side, the blue dragon wasn't backing down either, clearly ready to go all. Kim Ho looked back then bolted. Was that a breath attack? The deadliest move in a dragon's arsenal. He ran like his life depended on it. Even with elemental resistance, it was clear this was a cows fighting, flies dying kind of situation. One spits fire, one spits lightning, and guess who's standing right between them? Dead meat with legs, that's who. Boom. Kim Ho sprinted for dear life trying to escape the blast zone. Then the system popped up again. Tutorial complete. Reward Dragon Slayer Academy uniform. Student ID card train. Next up, head to the station and board the train to Dragon Slayer Academy. Shift train station. The place was buzzing. "Excuse me, miss, could you please stand up for a sec?" A young man holding a sword spoke to a girl who had her head down on the table. "No more seats left. May I sit next to you?" No response. He assumed the answer himself, sleeping. "Sorry to wake you. I'll find another place then." But just as he was about to leave, someone else walked in. "No seats left." "Oh hey, it's Kim Ho." Hearing the question, the sword guy hesitated. "Oh well, not exactly. She hasn't said anything." The girl who'd been asleep the whole time finally woke up looking Dave. Kim Ho pointed and casually declared, "I'm sitting here, okay?" The girl nodded yet. He responded while the sword guy looked totally ignored. "Thanks, I'm Kim Ho," the girl replied. "Seo Yin." Kim Ho invited the young man too. "You can sit here as well, right?" The girl eyed him with subtle suspicion. The sword guy nodded and introduced himself. This guy talked like a noble swordsman from a Wuan novel, even bowed formally. "Many thanks, I almost had to stand the whole ride. I shall repay this favor. Brother Kim." Kim Ho stared at him. "Yep, 100% main character energy," he replied in kind. "Why so late, man?" Oh Hunu smiled and answered. "On the way here, I spotted 2 ancient dragons. Got so shocked I lost my way." Kim Ho shuddered at the memory. "Yeah, same here. I almost got roasted, man." As smoke puffed and the train whistle blew, they realized, it's departing. Kim Ho started reminiscing about the Dragon Slayer Academy, a place he'd visited countless times whenever a new hero popped up. He knew the place like the back of his hand so well it was boring. But this time, something felt off. He glanced at his 2 new companions, silently committing their names to memory. Go Hun Wu Xiao Yang. He felt somewhat detached watching everything quietly. All the students and instructors were unfamiliar faces. It all felt like a slow-motion movie. Every person seemed unique, he concluded. The setting might be the same, but the characters are different. That means the events and quests ahead could change. I better stay sharp. Kim-ho felt uneasy from the gaze of the person next to him. Seriously, she'd been staring at him non-stop. On her side, Seo Yin looked pretty bored, not caring about anything. She had a special eye that converted everything she saw into stat. Looking at Go-hun Woo, she thought, May, average. She was great. He was okay. The guy had a familiar status window. Wind, Heaven, Blade, and Sword Technique. D rank, Sword Trait, Core E, totally normal. But then came Kim-ho, a whole different beast. His entire status screen was trait copy, amplification. This guy was something else. She couldn't even count how many unknown status windows she saw. Because he was so unusual, she kept starring, making Kim-ho uncomfortable. He finally asked, "You good? What's with the starring?" The girl suddenly remembered the adult's advice at home. If you're curious about someone, do something nice. So she immediately opened her suitcase, and inside was a bag of cookies that really stood out. Yoane offered them. "Want one?" Kim-ho, not wanting to be rude, took one. Thanks, homemade." Yoane nodded. Yeah, he took a bite. Hey, not bad at all. Turns out she only offered them to Kim-ho, not the guy next to him. Poor Hun-woo got nothing but the view. While munching, Kim-ho asked, "Hey, go Hun-woo, mind if I ask something? That big thing next to you, is that a long sword?" The guy confirmed. "Sharp eyes, my friend." Full of pride, he introduced it. "This is my family's heirloom. Sadly, I'm not yet qualified to break its seal, so it remains dormant." Still smiling, he pulled out a second, simpler sword. "Until then, this steel blade shall be my loyal partner. Don't worry, it hasn't failed me yet." Kim-ho listened and commented, "Really though, you might want to consider getting a more reliable weapon just in case." Another guy burst in, flinging the door open. Attention everyone. Mind if I chill here for a bit? Ever polite. Go-hunu smiled. Not at all. Make yourself at home. The uninvited guest laughed heartily. Haha, thanks. I won't take long. Kim-ho felt something was off. He hadn't heard footsteps. I think I know who this guy is, he thought. Why aren't you sitting down instead of bouncing around? The guy grinned. The boy struck a pose and whipped out a business card. Need anything? Call Shin Buying Cha, Dragon Slayer Academy delivery service. You pay, we fet. People looked skeptical. Anything? He nodded confidently. Of course. Kim-ho wasn't buying it. Sounded against school rules, but the kid looked like he had experience. Yep, just call us. Kim-ho smirked. And now you're running because the school's onto you, huh? Shin Buying Chol's face went pale. Yet? Shine glanced out the window and asked nervously, "Was it that obvious?" Kim-ho suggested, "You're peeking out like someone chasing you." There was a shadow outside the window. Yamar pressed his face to the glass and winced. A group of people who looked like a student council was standing there. The girl leading them shouted, "Come out. We know you're in there." Kim-ho peeked and muttered, "The disciplinary committee's here already." Shin scratched his head awkwardly and stepped out. "Welp, I'm doomed." These students had authority and stubborn faces to match. The committee maintained order in the academy and was made up of first years who enrolled early and now managed the train. The lead girl furiously demanded, "Return what doesn't belong to you." Shin barely started to argue before getting zapped like a guy dodging debt collectors. Kim-ho watched her use her power. Seriously. A lightning mage. That's rare. He was already planning to nab it. I've got room in my copy slots, right? Better safe than sorry. Meanwhile, Shin acted like he couldn't care less. Who's in trouble? Not me. I suck at close combat anyway. Kim-ho's half-eaten cookie suddenly dropped from his hand. The girl put her gloves back on, ready to teach the boy a lesson. Still not giving up. Then I'll take you down. Snap. The place lit up brighter than a power plant. She formed a lightning bird and hurled it at Shin. All he could do was raise his arms and brace for impact. Suddenly, a hand reached out and grabbed the lightning bird midair, neutralizing the spell. The hand held it without a single scratch. Committee girl was stunned. Wait, there's another one. Kim-ho stepped forward and replied, "Not really." He pointed at the cookie on the floor. "That's my cookie. You made me drop it." The girl's face went blank. System update. You've learned support magic, Hummingbird. At the same time, Kim-ho complained with a serious tone. "That cookie was good, and you guys ruined my snack. I'm mad now." Yan immediately argued, "Don't pin this on us. You didn't move aside. We were still being polite. Don't blame the sea for being salt." Hun-woo jumped in hand on his sword. "I advise caution. If you draw your blade, I won't sit quiet." The situation spiraled, the tension between both groups rising fast. The atmosphere was suffocating until Chun-Hai jumped in to defuse the bomb. "Hold up, how about we give you a dessert coupon for the academy cafeteria?" Kim-ho nodded in satisfaction. "Deal, that'll do." Buying Chol, standing nearby, muttered, What about me?" Kim-ho didn't hesitate. "Figure it out yourself." Flash of light passed his eyes, followed by the system notification. Skill coped to 111. Hummingbird E-trait coped 1 elemental resistance as Kim-ho grinned like a sly fox. "Thanks for the skill, buddy." Meanwhile, Chun-Hai kept accusing him. "You stole a station staff member's wig. That prank was way too far." Kim-ho sighed. "Yeah, maybe he did deserve that zap." Before leaving, she gave him one last warning. Word of advice, stay away from Shinbang. He waved her off cheerfully. I'll decide that myself. Have a nice day. Yoan turned back with a cold huff. I'll remember your face. As the door shut, Hunwoo couldn't hide his excitement. That's the disciplinary committee for you. Bitch quickly chimed in. Yeah, top-tier elites. Everyone. The one who zapped me with the hummingbird was Song Chanhai. He was still surprised. Wait, as in the Topaz Magic Light, Buying Cho confirmed again. Yep, that Song Chanhai is the granddaughter of the Thunder Emperor Songhua. He kept going like a walking encyclopedia of bosses. The rest aren't pushovers either. Jo Bok is the disciple of the Fist King. Hansomi is the student of the Sword Emperor and the heir of Scythe Pavilion. GM Johan. He may not be on the same level, but before he could finish, Bing Chul darted toward the door. Got to go. You guys are fun. Say hi if we meet again. Bye-bye. Hanu could only admire his exit, still full of energy. A moment later, he turned to Kim-ho. You really jumped in over a cookie. Kim-ho shrugged. Nah, I was just curious about that rare lightning mate. Hanu looked baffled. Didn't you just block a strike from Lady Sun? Kim-ho suddenly turned the tables. Do you know how advanced that hummingbird spell is? Han-woo thought carefully. This was my first time seeing it. Then he added his take. It was so fast the eye could barely follow. It's more for disabling or paralyzing than dealing damage. Kim-ho nodded impressed. That's half right. Hunu asked, what's the other half? Kim-ho and Unken's eyes lit up as he explained. It's called hummingbird because it mimics the way a real one fly. He grew serious. Depending on the caster's skill, the effectiveness varies. You can even tell how experienced someone is just by watching how the bird moved. He gave an example. If Song Chanhai was truly seasoned, then when I interfered, that hummingbird would have changed course instant. Kim-ho paused, but it flew straight into my hand. That means her control or real combat experience is lacked. Hunwoo raised an eyebrow. You got all that from one move. Kim-ho chuckled. That's not even the full picture. He did some mental math. She used an ear rank spell, but its power was close to dank. That means either she has a strong trait or a naturally massive manipul. Not surprising. Thunder Emperor's granddaughter and all. Definitely going on my recruit. Hunwoo was silent for a beat, then laughed. We just met and I already feel like I've learned so much. Must be fate. Kim-ho laughed out loud. Fate is pushing it. Ask and I'll explain. That's all. Hunwoo instantly bowed with a hand salute. Truly honored, brother. If you ever need help, don't hesitate to ask. I'll give it my all. Kim-ho nodded, but instead of thanking him, he grinned. Really? Then come with me real quick. Oh, and can I borrow a silver coin? Hunu looked like he just got slapped by the wind. Ha. Right after that, Kim-ho pulled back an old curtain. In front of him was a busted arcade machine. Before Hunwoo could ask, Kim-ho explained, this train used to be a tourist train. This area was a casino. Kind of messy, I know. Hearing that, Hunwoo looked confused. But isn't that thing broken? Kim-ho replied casually, probably. As soon as he inserted a coin, the machine suddenly came to life, surprising even Kim-ho. Okay, maybe not. He stared directly at the active machine. Hidden event, the broken slot machine. Kim-ho grabbed the lever. Better use this chance while I can. The reel spun immediately and a bottle of water dropped out. He put on a helpless face. Gez, not like I was expecting much anyway. Hunu couldn't help but ask, so why'd you come here? Kim-ho hesitated, then replied, technically, this breaks school rules, not because of the machine, but because of the stuff it spits out. Hunu grew cautious. Then, can I just stand here and watch? Kim-ho chuckled. Sure, the disciplinary committee rarely comes here. They're probably checking other areas right now. Just that exact moment, a familiar voice echoed from behind. Hey, what are you two doing here? First-year disciplinary committee member Hansomi. Kim-ho felt a shiver down his spine. Spoke too soon. Hansomi warned in a strict tone. Students aren't allowed to touch this stuff. Kim-ho tilted his head. That's not a point deduction violation though. Can you stall her? Hunu nodded nervously. She stared daggers at both of them, her voice, slow but threatening. Helping someone break the rules also counts as breaking the rules. You knew that, didn't you? Hunwoo put his hands together in front of him and exhaled calmly. This is my decision. As soon as he finished speaking, he drew his sword. I heard Lady Han learned swordsmanship from the Sword Empress. Would you honor me with a demonstration? Sumi raised her staff. Your name? I am Go Hunwo. Pleased to learn from you. Upon hearing that, Sumi dashed forward with a slight smirk. Very well then. She immediately swung her staff at him with force. Bunu responded by slashing downward with his blade. Her body was knocked back from the impact, but Sumi regained her balance in an instant. In fact, then she charged again without saying a word. She swung her staff wildly, aiming straight for Hunmu. Kim-ho analyzed carefully. His internal power's weaker, his core still has flaw. Slightly observing, Kim-ho still hadn't given up. Too much potential left. Time to use amplification. Target's internal core trait upgraded from E to C. Duration 0.8 seconds. Cooldown 0.59. Kim-ho muttered. Hold that pose for 1 minute, buddy. Instantly, the staff and sword clashed with a spark. At the same time, the system announced activation. On the other side, Kim-ho gripped a handful of silver coins, eyes glancing at the timer. 0.14 seconds remaining. Slot machines are the classic casino game. Normally nobody wants to waste coins on them, but little did they know this one had an insurance system called ceiling hit. The machine began to hum softly. Starting from the 5th silver coin, this was the 5th spin. Kim Ho raised a gleaming silver coin, his eyes lighting up like he just found buried treasure. Here it is, just borrowed one more. Then the coin dropped into the slot and he stood beside the machine calculating nervously. Spin 6 had a guaranteed jackpot rate of 100%. Instantly, a Kang frozen dark crystal appeared chillingly cold to the touch with a warning. This item can be leaked. The moment he saw it, Kim Ho's eyes lit up. Got it? Suddenly, Sumi lunged toward him. At the same time, Hunu dashed in, swinging his broken sword. Not done yet. Timer 001. Back to Kim Ho. He suddenly downed the potion. That's enough, he said. Sumi screamed. Hey, don't eat that. Then the system lit up. Frozen status effect applied. Clutched his throat and coughed hard. The system kept flashing notifications. Frozen status effect applied. A while later, Kim Ho casually shook the bottle. I'm fine, see? Both of them shouted in unison. Ha, they stuttered. What the heck was in that bottle? He calmly replied. Basically, it's an elixir that boosts mana, the insurance reward for the 6th spin. For newbies, a frozen dark crystal is extremely toxic. Just a tiny shard can turn you into an ice statue. Of course, Kim Ho was the except thanks to his frank elemental resistance. Kim Ho glanced away, eyes scheming. The freezing energy will grow stronger inside. Suddenly, Hunu asked Lady Han, are you okay with this? Sumi hesitated. Not exactly. Kim Ho cut in sarcastically. You saw it all. Only an idiot would still believe. Unlike them, Hunu laughed heartily. Helping you makes me happy, Kim, bro. Because of you, I got to duel Lady Han and even got a rare item. Kim Ho smiled back. You've helped me a lot. Oh, and you lent me a silver coin too. Hunu then made a proposal. If you don't mind, could you show me that amazing technique? Hearing that, Kim Ho quickly dodged. Next time it needs cooldown. Plus, I can't reveal all my cards yet. In his mind, he already plotted it out. 1 hour of cooldown left. Can't expose it now. Hunu nodded, understanding. Yeah, a powerful skill like that must have conditions, Kim Ho replied. The day is still long. I'm sure I'll need to use it again. Scene changed to a remote island where a group cheered excitedly. Almost there. The Dungeon Forest Island destination of this train was named after the number of dungeons it helped. In the past, this place was a lawless land crawling with criminal. Then one day, the first ever hero and dragon slayer stepped foot on the island. He wiped out the criminals and conquered every dungeon there. He built a city and founded an academy. Thus, Dragon Slayer Academy was born. Amid the calm setting, overlapping voices echoed. First years this way. Another person shouted, don't go that way. Don't follow the seniors. Hunu chuckled like it was the best show ever. At the same time, Nari's cat suddenly scratched a girl who screamed, ah, get it off me. Kim Ho muttered helplessly, man, it's crowded. Just as the group was focused on watching, Chanhai suddenly spoke up. She crossed her arms with a stern look. Please follow us for a moment. In the student disciplinary office, Chanhai raised her voice. Sit down. This is the only room in the disciplinary committee, and anyone who enters leaves a changed person. This is the room of truth. Pahamorn's voice echoed in the closed room colder than the air. We heard you consumed something from the slot machine. It seems fine. The scanner didn't detect anything. At that, Kim Ho looked a little smug. Of course, the freeze effect had long worn off. He carefully concluded, guess it wasn't a banned item. Sahun stopped in front of the desk, eyes narrowing. Kim Ho, let me tell you something. Maybe you don't know, but defying the disciplinary committee can get you punished. Oh, Sahun, 3rd year head of the Dragon Slayer Academy disciplinary committee. Moments later, his tone softened noticeably. Since no one was hurt and this is your first offense, you won't be held accountable, but I hope this is the last time I see you here. Kim Ho slowly stood up. Yes, sir. Sahan nodded politely. Then off you go. Have a great semester. Yes, sir. Kim Ho turned and left. Izuhun sipped his tea. Seems like you don't like that kid much, huh? Chunhai. She clenched her sleeve in frustration. He's suspicious no matter how you look at it. Chanhai launched into an analysis. If the goal wasn't a banned item, there's no reason to use that machine. She doubled down and no reason to destroy all the evidence on the spot either. You're thinking what I'm thinking, right? She frowned deeply. Chances are he gained some illicit skill. If we use appraisal, we'll definitely expose him. Sahun in contrast remained indifferent. Yeah, maybe. His voice lowered. But what if we find nothing? If we go as far as using appraisal and still come up empty, what then? Her firm stance faltered for a second. Well, that immediately Chanhai bowed with regret. I'm sorry I got ahead of myself. Sehun's tone softened again. I know you're passionate, Chunhai, but in situations like this, we need to take our time and look at the bigger P. After a quiet moment, he smiled kindly. Now go on, or you'll be late for the entrance ceremony. Shifts to the classroom. Kim Ho stepped in. Thanks for saving me a seat. Screen lit up. Tutorial 3 complete. You arrived at the ceremony on time. Reward ear-rank weapon ticket. 5 silver coins. He glanced at the virtual notice board and smiled faintly. An ear-rank weapon's better than nothing. And I even got the exact amount of coins I spent on the slot machine. In the plaza, students were packed in tightly. Someone shouted, there he is. Is that the principal? Doesn't look like much. One whispered, I heard he used to lead a dragon-slaying squad. Principals at Dragon Slayer Academy are usually retired hero. The title hero is only given to one person among countless ranks, just one. He may not look it, but inside him is terrifying power, a student muttered quietly. But didn't the saint reject 4 times already? Another chimed in, it was 5 times, he just got rejected again. Kim Ho smiled silent. At the same time, the principal coughed twice. Welcome new students. We sincerely congratulate you on entering Dragon Slayer Academy. His voice echoed across the plaza. Dragon Slayer Academy was founded long ago, as the name suggests, to prepare for battles against dragons and to train you to become Dragon Slayer. The principal paused, seemingly debating how many students' ears he should torture with his speech. The first hero emphasized the word Slayer in our name. Think carefully about what it means to slay. If you've never killed an ogre, you can't call yourself an OG Slayer. You are. Principal then asked, what is slaying? If you've never killed a dragon, you're not a dragon slayer. Kim Ho groaned, please make it stop. The principal droned on endlessly. Taking life is the fate and core of a monster slayer. Don't deny this truth. Ask yourselves, why do I want to slay? Why do I want to take life from another being? I hope you'll find that answer before graduation. One more. A student yelled out, followed by a chorus from the crowd. Stop already. My head hurt. The principal, either unaware or just ignoring them, continued, may you all become true heroes at Dragon Slayer Academy. That's all. Unlike the grumbling crowd, Hanu laughed with excitement. What a meaningful speech. Kim Ho looked at him, baffled. You're not bored? He nodded with reverence. Bored. Every single word was priceless wisdom. My master talks about stuff like this every day. Kim Ho broke into a cold sweat every day. Suddenly, a female instructor with eyes sharp enough to slice pencils stepped up. A quick note, the list of banned items has been updated this year. Anyone caught with these will be disciplined and the items confiscated. Her voice slowed, almost threatening. Unless otherwise notified, all new students may only train on the ground floor of the dungeon tower. If you go lower without permission, your family, mage tower, or guild will face consequences, so be careful. She peered over her glasses, gaze razor sharp. One person's curiosity can doom you all. Understand the internal rules and obey them to avoid punishment. That concludes the ceremony. Return to the dorms in time for dinner. Someone gulped loudly. That's it. Straight to the point, huh? At the same time, Bing crawled out. Let's go eat, everyone. Manhua's eyes went wide. Shin bro, what happened to your cheek? Beach laughed awkwardly. This just a little act. Suddenly Bingch raised his voice. Eat till you're full. Okay. Hunu looked puzzled. Why? Bitch quickly explained, tomorrow's the first day of class. It's a big one. That night in the boys' dorm, Hunu popped his head out excitedly. Nice. We're room neighbors. What a coincidence, Kim Ho said dryly, then teased. I'm not exactly thrilled though. Hunu laughed awkwardly. Good night, Kim bro. Inside, Kim Ho trudged straight into the room, clearly not planning to sleep yet. He quickly hung his uniform neatly in the closet, then climbed into bed and sat down in a meditative pose. Might as well make use of the free time. Kim Ho sat upright, his whole body radiating a mysterious green glow. He had to create a core. To use any skills involving magic or inner energy, a power source was needed. That source is the core. He suddenly opened his eyes wide. This is my first time trying outside the game, but I already know how to do it. I've absorbed the ice crystal, so I've got enough mana. I can do this. Meanwhile, in Gohanu's room, he was meditating with full foe. Handsome was the strongest opponent he had faced since coming down the mountain. True, both had held back during their fight, but if they had gone all out, the result would have been unpredictable. If it weren't for Kim Ho's support, he might have lost the moment his steel sword broke. Master was the word Hun Woo used to describe Kim Ho from the moment they met. Calm like only the strong could be. With eyes that seemed to see every thinking of that, he glanced toward his sword. Should I ask him for help? That thought was immediately shut down. No, he's my first real friend. He returned to meditating, a soft smile forming at the corners of his mouth. I'll do my best for the next day in the temporary classroom. The students gathered in full. Yane walked in from outside weakly waving. Good morning. Hunu Undunkent's eyes lit up. She's here. I was worried Lady Yine overslept. Kim Ho muttered. She probably did. One student looked around confused. Where's the teacher? Another replied flatly. No idea. Kim Ho sighed. The bell rang, and the teacher's still not here. Whoever's homeroom teacher is really slack. Just then, a figure swept past and the female student turned around and the faces of the students all changed color. Stokes scanned the class, voice as deep as the pits of hell. Judging by your faces, I must be famous. Pleasure to meet you all. I'll be your homeroom teacher this year. Name's Lee Suduk. He suddenly pointed at a girl. You there? What do people call me? She stammered. The crime hunter. Sudok shook his head. Nope, the two-word one. Trembling, she replied. The butcher. Kim Ho frowned slightly. So it's him. In the world of Dragon Slayer Academy, superhumans who surpassed mortal limits were more common than sand. Among them, some twisted their power for evil. Criminals were everywhere. Sudok's job was to hunt them down, nicknamed the Butcher because he killed more than he captured. The teacher looked at the students with piercing eyes. I don't want to be here either, but I gave my word to the principal. I've never failed a mission. After a breath, Sudok continued coldly, so don't stain my record. Seriously, I'd rather kill you than let you fly. He scribbled quickly on the blackboard and got back to the lesson. Let me explain how grading worked. Sudok stated firmly. Theory exams count for 30% and behavior score is 10%. Just breathing and not causing trouble will earn you free points. But beware, behavior score can go below 0% and drag all your other scores down. Then he paused and added with emphasis, I'll be watching the slackers closely. Who knows, maybe we'll meet again after graduation. Sudok continued explaining the grading system. Next is the most important part, the practical exam. It's divided into dungeon raids where you must progress floor by floor. The voice rang out steadily with an invisible pressure, and duels where students face off. Points are cumulative. In other words, you'll have to perform better than the person next to you. At that, Sudok slammed the chalkboard. Raids and duels each count for 30% of the total grade. Any questions? No. Then let's head to the arena. Outside, one male and one female were locked in an intense fight. Amid the tension, Sudok raised his voice. It's time for the ranking exam. Bike shouted excitedly, let's go, this is the big one. Hunu suddenly realized, this is what he was talking about yesterday. Keep students ready for any situation. The duel rules change every time. Today's ranking exam rule is death. The match won't end until one side is completely unable to fight, surrenders or is unfit to continue. The time limit is 5 minutes. If no one wins by then, it's a draw. Baich jumped in to explain. Each student fights 3 random opponents. You get 300 points per win. Hunu tilted his head toward Kimho. What if it's a draw or a loss? Kimho answered quickly. 0 points, but at least you don't lose any. Suddenly, a system screen popped up in front of Kimho. Supply quest ranking exam goal. Will finish above average in the test when at least one dual 01 rank in top 50% for dungeon raid current rank. NA support skill slot +1. He calculated carefully. I just need to win one duel and do decent in the raid. But something else was more important, right? Thinking that Kimho turned his gaze toward Chunhai ranking exams were the perfect time to study other students' capability. A chance to spot talents who could be trained up to SRank or to remember students with copyworthy skills or traits. A moment later, Sudok called over the intercom. Kimho hung Yeonhwa, get up here. Honu immediately cheered. Do your best, Kim bro. Yeonhwa and Kimho stepped onto the stage at the same time. He cautiously studied his opponent, Ruby Tower. Ruby Tower specialized in fire magic, known for high firepower and tight area control. His top pick in the game. Kimho let out an involuntary chuckle. Sorry, but play with me for 5 minutes, will you? Yeonhwa stood in the center of the arena, eyes sharp as she scanned Kimho. In her mind burned a fierce resolve. I have to make a name for myself. To do that, I need to take down someone with a name. Wait, who even is Kimho? Her eyes quickly darted to his hand. What kind of weapon is that? Even a rookie mage would laugh at that E-rank earth staff. It barely boosted earth magic and defensive spell. Slightly boosts earth and defensive magic, she analyzed carefully. It clearly wasn't from the Emerald Tower, and he didn't look like an earth mage either, meaning he was likely using the staff just to enhance defensive spells. The staff's length suggested he prioritized power over mobility. At the same time, Sudok began the countdown. Hearing that, Yeonhwa quickly raised her staff. So, he's just a support mage standing still. As soon as the teacher shouted, begin, she unleashed an explosive spell. Yeonhwa silently vowed to end it in one swift move. Witnessing the rare scene, students started whispering, did you see that flash just now? Yep, definitely Ruby Tower stuff. Yeonhwa's expression suddenly twisted. Just a message. Yeonhwa 100%. Kimho 100%. She could barely believe her eyes. No way, that should have been a clean hit. But then meanwhile, Kimho calmly walked toward her. She felt a sudden chill. Did nothing work on him? A large screen lit up. Score Han Yeonhwa versus Kimho 100%. The two stood surrounded by a cloud of dust on the arena floor. Yeonhwa frowned in confusion. Wait, did it not work at all? Did he use a dispel skill? He rang dark as she pointed her staff directly at him while casting a barrier with her other hand. Alright then, how about this? Kimho looked at the fixed casting technique coldly. Even a dispel won't stop that. Watching the barrier form around him, he thought, let's try moving. If there's even a slight gap, I'll shoot. Sensing something strange, Yona immediately grew suspicious. Huh, what's going on? His calm demeanor made her wonder, why is he just standing there like that? His relaxed, almost smug look made her feel like he was mocking her. If he's that confident. Yeonhwa charged a powerful spell from the orb on her staff and shouted, then try blocking this flame pillar. Fire roared forward. Kimho's brow twitched slightly. Then a blazing column of fire engulfed his body. Right after that, a blazing pillar of fire swallowed his entire body. Even the audience in the stands felt the heat. Someone gasped. That's definitely Ruby Tower level power. Suddenly, Yong's expression froze. Kimho still standing unscathed after the fiery blast. She was stunned. He took a hit from a future Ruby Tower leader and he's fine. She told herself, if this keeps up, I'll have to use my trump card. Just then, Kimho calmly released a blinding green light. As it flew toward her, Yona was shocked to realize it was a hummingbird. The bird dashed toward her at incredible speed. Thankfully, she dodged it just in time. But before she could catch her breath, it turned mid-air and stabbed her square in the back, making her cry out in pain. A big screen flashed, paralysis status applied. On the field, Yanhwa collapsed to her knees, sparks of electricity crackling around her body. Kim hosted coldly, "Let's end it here." He looked at Yanhwa with concern and kindly added, "You should save your trump card for future match." But given her miserable state, his words felt like pure mockery. Think about the bigger picture. The big screen lit up again. Yanhwa lost, Kim Ho win. The crowd erupted in surprise. What? Yanhwa lost, and he didn't even lose 1 HP. Who is this guy? He's not from the Genius Squad. No one's seen him before. Who the heck is he? Hearing this, Kim Ho thought nervously, I'm getting more attention than I wanted. I'll have to be careful now. Just as he was thinking that, the announcer splashed cold water on his plans. Next up, Kim Ho again. His face darkened. Seriously, no break at all. The next name was called Song Chanhai. Students turned in surprise. Huh? Song Chanhai from the Yellow Tower. Yeah, heard she got into the disciplinary committee right after Enro. Song Chanhai stepped out, her body radiating heat, her eyes laser focused. She carefully put on her gloves. It's lucky I get to fight you. There's something I need to confirm. Kim Ho simply stared at her silently, not responding. Then without hesitation, he turned to the judges and said, I surrender. Chanhai shouted in disbelief. What? Teacher Lee Sudak frowned. Why? Kim Ho scratched his head and squinted. I'm not in the best condition. Another fight today would be tough. Lee Sudak replied, puzzled. Isn't more points better? The teacher asked again for confirmation. You really want to forfeit? Kim Ho replied without hesitation. Yes, I can't push it. Ignoring Chunhai's clenched, trembling fist of fury, he added casually, I'm dropping the third match too. Seeing he couldn't stop him, Lee Sudak nodded. All right, I'll mark it as a law. At this, Chunhai scoffed mockingly. Pathetic, always ready to fight, huh? With steely resolve, she declared, my grandfather always told me, never hesitate, no matter how bad the odds, you fight to the end if you want to reach the top. Hearing that, Kim Ho suddenly remembered, wait, her grandpa's the Thunder Emperor, right? Like grandfather's, like granddaughter. He could clearly see the Thunder Emperor and Hunkit's strength reflected in her determined demeanor. Sure, it's the mindset of a competitive hero, but it had nothing to do with. With that, he turned around, waved dismissively, and left Song Chunhai standing there in shock. Yeah, guess it's not meant for me. Let's say you win. She turned away from him with an annoyed face. What a disappointment. I must have been stupid to expect anything from you. Suddenly he blurted out, oh right. She instantly turned back. What? Kim Ho casually replied. Didn't you say you'd give me a dessert voucher? His words made Chanhai so mad she actually laughed. Then teacher Lee Sudok announced, next, Song Chanhai versus Zheng Jihang. The moment he stepped out, Zheng laughed loudly. Yellow Tower, huh? This will be fun. His laughter was abruptly cut off. Hey, are you ready? Lee Sudok shouted. Begin. Immediately, a massive surge of power shot forward like a missile and blasted straight at Zheng Jihang. Moments later, the screen flashed. Song Chanhai 100%, Zheng Jihang %. On the stage stood her cold, unshaken figure. Bang Cho asked in shock, did she already mark you as a target? Kim Ho replied nonchalantly, seems like watching the medics carry Jihong away. Bitch let out a breath of relief. Lucky you surrendered. You'd be barbecue by now. Down in the arena, Sean Hai shot Kim Ho a furious glare like she was about to explode. Beach immediately looked over, concerned. Did you see that face she made? Still beside him, he couldn't stop commenting. As expected from the Thunder Emperor's granddaughter, she's got one hell of an opening. Kim Ho smiled in satisfaction. Alright, now all I have to do is win. Above him, a few confused students whispered to each other. Seriously, who quits a ranking exam? Betty saw Chunhai and chickened out. That win against Hong Yonghua must have been pure luck. Dude's just a coward with no value. Kim Ho caught every word with sharp focus. Not worth worrying about, he told himself. But beating Hong Yonghua from Ruby Tower was exactly the kind of reputation he was after. Soon after, teacher Lee Sudak called out again. Next, Song Chanhai Buying Cho peeked at his list and gasped. Oh, she's up again already. Who's the unlucky opponent? Fully geared up, Chanhai stepped onto the stage as teacher Lee called the name Seo Yang. Seeing her enter, Buying Cho was stunned. Huh? A royal guard? That's unexpected. Kim Ho noticed her too. I just found out now too. As her cold face appeared, voices murmured in awe. Now this will be fun. Royal guards are natural counters to mages. Wouldn't be surprising if Chunhai loses this. Kim Ho's eyes lit up with excitement. Who knows? We and Uncle have to wait and see. Bai disagreed. No way. If the guard plays it safe, there's no way she'll lose. Kim Ho turned and raised his hand. Want to bet 5 silver? Bitch instantly agreed. Deal. The score screen lit up. Song Chunhai 100%. Seo Yane 100%. Below it was Chunhai's sharp, focused gaze. Opposite her, Seo Yane remained calm and collect. The signal blared. Begin. Seo Yane immediately opened fire on her opponent. With little effort, Song Chanhai stopped the bullets mid-air with a single move. They froze right before hitting her. Inch groaned from the stands. Ha blocked already. Kim Ho unfazed replied just as I expected. Judging by her attacks, he could easily tell that Chunhai's mana pool was massive. That E-rank hummingbird move she used had D-rank power in her hand. Meanwhile, Xiao Yang continued her barrage of gunfire. She swiftly dodged 2 surprise attacks from Song Chanhai. Suddenly, Chanhai twirled her finger slightly, and a hummingbird shot towards Xiao Yang at breakneck speed. Unable to react in time, it grazed her cheek harshly. Electricity followed, paralyzing her body. It scribbled in his notebook with regret. Darn, if that hit clean, the match would have been over. Kim Ho disagreed. She dodged it, but her movements are already slowing down. Seeing Chunhai standing calmly in the arena, he muttered, "Once she's shocked, the next hit will surely land." Just as I thought, Chunhai is not easy to beat. Just then, a quick hand reached to her waist. Xiao Yang pulled a pin and threw something at her opponent. The object flew her way and burst into thick, heavy smoke. Kim Ho blinked in surprise. Huh? A smoke bomb. Bang Cho perked up. Smart. Normally, it'd get blocked, but this one made it through. As Chunhai panicked, his voice rang out with glee. Now the tables have turned. This is where royal guards shine. The dense smoke quickly engulfed the arena. While Chunhai was still confused, a powerful strike slammed her from behind. Feeling her back shield absorb the hit, she gritted her teeth. I blocked it, but the impact threw off my balance. In her surroundings, she thought, if this keeps up, I'm in real trouble. From the stands, Buying Chaw whispered excitedly, that girl must be loaded. An invisibility cloak in her first year. Her sniper rifle caught his attention next. Smart switched to a long-range weapon too. A bullet zipped by, but Chunhai narrowly dodged. Quickly turned, but Xiao Yang had already vanished. At that moment, the big screen showed Song Changhai 85%, Xiao Yan 88%. Time left 2 minutes 13 seconds. Eyes sharp, Chunhai scanned every movement around her. I can't just keep defending forever. At that moment, Xiao Yan quietly aimed her gun at Chanhai's back. A bullet flew straight for Chanhai's head, but thankfully her shield stopped it just in time. She reminded herself to predict the trajectory of Mona bullets better. As another shot hit her barrier, she thought, now's the moment. Without hesitation, she spun around. Instantly, Chanhai spotted Xiao Yang and Unk in S location. An attack blasted toward Yang, who had to fly upward to dot. Here Chanhai regained full confidence. Gotcha. As the lightning shot toward Yang's neck, Chunhai smirked, can't dodge that hug. The jolt electrified every muscle in Xiao Yang and Unken's body, making her cry out in pain. The scoreboard lit up Song Chanhai 85%, Xiao Yang 68%. Time left 0 minutes 0 seconds. On the battlefield, Xiao Yang had officially been defeated. The smoke slowly began to clear. Kim Ho commented casually, no surprise. Bang Cho, on the other hand, scratched his head in disbelief. She really lost. Seeing Chanhai's confident stance, he realized no other freshman could compare to her. The display announced, Sun Chanhai wins, Xiao Yan loses. His eyes shifted to Xiao Yan as she slowly got up. But to last that long against Chanhai, not bad at all. Inch dropped 5 silver coins into Kim Ho's hand, 5 coins as promised. Suddenly, he asked, how about another round? Real men go 3 rounds. Kim Ho frowned. Are you addicted to betting or what? Once is enough. Bitch nodded toward the arena and said, well, maybe you'll change your mind after seeing this. Hunwoo and Unken's next opponent is. Bulky man stood directly opposite. H introduced him, disciple of the Fist King, Job. He turned to Kim Ho. So, who are you betting on? Kim Ho thought for a moment and said calmly, let's see. Probably the Fist King's disciple. Hearing that, Buying Cho replied, then I'll go with the other guy. Can't believe you betrayed the boat we're sailing on. Kim Ho showed no emotion. I'm just being honest. Didn't say Hunwoo will lose right away. Bai Cha blinked. Huh? Then what do you mean? Kim Ho just smirked. You'll see. Go Hunwoo glanced up at the stands and instantly spotted Kim Ho watching. Drawing the sword at his waist, he vowed silently, I'll give it my best, but this won't be easy. Boke noticed and asked, why not draw the one on your back? Yunu replied, it's not time for that yet. Boke repeated, not time ho. Joe Boke stared him down coldly. I won't go easy on you. Yunu lowered his tone too. That's how I like it. The screen lit up. Go Hunwoo 100%. Joe Boke 100%. The signal rang out. Begin. Joe Boke immediately charged in with a flurry of attack. Watching his confident form, Hunu thought, yep, definitely the Fist King's disciple. No wasted moves at all. The one punch came at him so fast, Hunu had to retreat in shock. His body felt weightless as he was knocked backward through the air. Hunwoo gritted his teeth thinking, even with shock dampening, I still got blown back this far. Guess I can't rely on basic move. Watching Boo charge like a runaway sandbag, a thought sparked in his mind. Fine then. He gently ran his fingers along the blade and muttered, I'll end this with one flow slap. Immediately 2 opposing forces clashed head-on. As Booped passed, Hunu's sword couldn't handle the impact and shattered into pieces, fragments flying everywhere. Seeing that Hunwoo sighed in defeat, looks like I can't go on. I surrender. Boke touched the torn part of his sleeve and calmly said, I'll look forward to our next match. The result popped up. Go Hunwoo lost versus Joe Boke won. Kim Ho quietly muttered, just as I thought that iron sword couldn't hold up. He recalled a memory. I already had a hunch when I saw it on the ship. He really used that sword like a disposable item. Bai clutched his head in disbelief. No way, you predicted that too. A hand gently rested on his shoulder. You flatter me too much. Kim-ho smiled warmly. Bai sheepishly replied, I'm broke now. No more silver. Kim-ho wasn't mad. He offered a solution. You don't have to pay in coins. Bitch perked up. Really? Then what do you want? Share the info you've got. Kim-ho replied. Just then, Professor Lee Sudok's voice echoed from outside. After lunch, we resume the conquest test. Gather at the dungeon tower and don't be late. Dismissed. On the grassy field, students were resting after the exhausting fights. Some sat together awkwardly, looking forward to the conquest. Huh. Hitch chewed and spoke at the same time. So, what do you want to know? Kim-ho cringed. Swallow first man growth. A moment later, Bangshell asked properly. Sorry, what info do you need? Kim-ho answered. Tell me about the key figures in the 4 main factions. Bitch agreed easily. Sure, that info is already floating around. Besides the Academy Disciplinary Committee, there are 4 major facial alliance Guild Federation Magic Society, and the Knight Order leading them are the grandson of Sword Saint Mang Hyunsung Martial Alliance Kim Jun, successor to the Ruby Tower Magic Society's Hong Yonghua, Guild Federation's Park Nari, always with a cat on her shoulder and secretly packing a ton of potential, and finally the Knight Order's Li Shang Hyunsun of the Grand Swordmaster. After flipping through his notes, Buying added these folks are ridiculously strong. Kim-ho nodded. Impressive lineup. Suddenly Bangsha looked around. Wait, where'd Hunu go? He glanced at his phone screen and yelled, oh crap, the club president, I totally forgot. Throwing his legs into action, he dashed off, shouting, I'm heading out first. Sorry. Kim-ho blinked. Man in a rut. Now only Kim-ho and Yain were left. The air turned awkwardly cold. Watching her quietly nibble on her bread, Kim-ho thought, maybe it's because she was the first person I connected with in this world. I can't just watch her sink. Like with that thought, he called out, hey, remember that cookie I dropped on the ship yesterday? He scrolled through the system. Sun Shanhai already sent me a dessert coupon. Since it's your cookie, I'll share it with you. He brought over a blueberry tart and smiled. Let's eat together. Yain softly replied, thank. While munching, Yain suddenly spoke up. Kim-ho tilted his head. With some crumbs still on her lips, she asked, seriously, do you think I really lost to Song Chunhai? Kim-ho let out a breath and answered, basic mana bullets can't penetrate a strong mana barrier. A mage with a bigger mana pool naturally has the edge. Seeing Yain's puzzled face, Kim-ho held up a bullet. But if you enhance the mana bullet, it's a different story. Yain asked, confused. Enhance mana? I've never done that before. Kim-ho's eyes widened. What? Don't tell me you've never tried it, she replied. Never have. Then came his next question, which made her freeze. So, how have you been creating Mona bullets all this time? Kim-ho asked in surprise. You've never created a Mona bullet before? Yain replied without hesitation. Nope, never. He froze, staring at her and muttering, a genius, maybe. Mona bullets are like the ABCs for any musketeer. Looking at Yain's clueless face, his mind swirled with questions. So she's been fighting purely on instinct this whole time, and she even gave Shanhai a run for her money without ever training her mana, if that's true. After thinking hard for a while, he finally said, if you don't mind, could I take a look at your skills? Yain nodded short. With a confident grin, he encouraged her. Training your mana and learning skills will make everything way easier. Suddenly a bell rang, followed by Professor Lee Sudok's voice. Time for the ranking test. At the dungeon hall, Lee Sudok stood before 3 gates and announced, now that everyone's here, I'll explain the dungeon trial. He looked sternly at the lined-up students and laid out the rules. The test will be held behind these dungeon gates. It's the Mist Forest route. 10-minute limit, point-based, fixed area F, and there are 2 special rules. First, scoring. You'll earn points based on how many monsters you defeat within 10 minutes. Your goal is to rack up as many kills as possible. Second, everything in the fixed area will be locked at frank. Equipment, skills, traits, everything gets downgraded. Woodok warned carefully, and don't forget your mana core also drops to frank, so be careful. Mismanaging your mana here will make you regret it. He added, I'll call your names one by one. The early participants ended up sprawled on the ground after the test, shaking like leaves and groaning in pain. Seeing them, someone thought, seriously crying like bobbies. This really is a disaster. Sudok glanced sideways, thinking, out of all these kids, only a handful are worth anything. In a quiet corner, Han Sumi's group had aced the trial, scoring a jaw-dropping 928 points. Rank 1, 530 points, top 20%. Seeing how few people passed Sudok's side internally, only these 2. I already feel a headache coming on, he called out tiredly. Next group. 2 names echoed through the hall. Seo Yane Kim-ho.
Suddenly, he grabbed her wrist.
Wait a sec. Seo Yane, use a rifle for this one. Yang obediently nodded. Okay. From afar, Chunghai shot a death glare their way. Meanwhile, Kim-ho gently advised, if controlling mana gets too hard, just aim for the head when they get close. Yain nodded calmly. Okay. Chunghai thought, wait, he doesn't even use guns. Why is he giving gun tips? Just before entering the gate, he waved at her. See you on the other side. Now entering the fixed area. Looking around, Kim-ho muttered, Miss Forest, huh? Been a while. Everything scaled down. Skills, traits, gear. He tapped the system screen. Let's see where we are. Alright, let's do this. At the same time, the test screen lit up. 10 minutes remain. Right in front of him, a green monster was charging in. At the same time, the clock started. 9 minutes and 59 seconds left. The monster immediately chomped down on a tree root in front of him. He swung his sword in a perfect arc, sending it flying backward. In the misty forest, monsters would spawn randomly the moment you enter. His eyes darted around, tracking even the slightest movement. Still, some attack patterns felt familiar. Judging from that goblin's position, this was Type C. Without hesitation, Kim-ho slashed toward one direction, meaning the next one would come from there. Just as he predicted, the knife flew straight into the monster, trying to jump out. The blade stabbed right into its eye socket. Creature fell flat on the ground with a loud thud. He exhaled in relief. Guess I won't need the staff after all. With an axe in one hand and a knife in the other, he grinned with confidence. There were weapons lying all over. Thanks, orcs and goblin. Kim-ho stepped toward the mob of monsters gathering for an ambush. He imagined this test as just another game, confidently gripping the axe. Time to farm some point. As soon as he said that, terrifying screams echoed through the quiet forest, blood spraying like red men. Moments later, the monsters were already looking at him with a tinge of fear. Around the same time, the screen showed 7 minutes and 2 seconds remaining. Kim-ho instantly locked in on their locations. 2 were sneaking from the edge. Got to be careful not to get caught on camera. Casually, he tossed the knife at the trolls and started swiping through the system screen. Whoops, if the footage saves how I move and hunt, it could cause some misunderstandings. Better delete it. Looking at the screen, he sighed. 683 points in 3 minutes. Dang, I'm farming like a bee. He tapped the system screen and muttered, all side quests done. Score above average. Win 1 duel. Place in top 50% in the dungeon test. Rank isn't set yet. Copy bonus slot 1. Any higher and I'll get too much attention. Standing in front of the gate, he thought, that's good enough. Time to head out. As soon as he walked out, he ran into Seo Yang. Her body looked unbelievably wrecked and her score popped up too. Seo Yang, 781 points, top 21%. Kim-ho walked up and asked, you okay? She sighed, dead tired. Ignoring the stare from Professor Lee Sudok, he asked Yain worriedly, tired, but your score wasn't bad? Sudok frowned, thinking, didn't this kid quit the duel? And he didn't even last 10 minutes in the dungeon. He's totally dropping out early. Sudok shot him a disapproving look and mumbled to himself, with willpower like that, how's he going to slay dragons? Wait a minute. Seeing his score, the professor was shocked. An average ranker got that many points in that little time. Kim-ho, 683 points, 38%. Has this ever happened before? The look in Sudok's eyes changed completely. He muttered, Kim-ho, going to need to dig into this. The teacher then called the next name. Go Hun-woo. Ho leaned over and said, be careful in there. Hun-woo turned back and replied, I'll be back soon, senior. Looking at the top 3 scores, a thought popped into his head. That's Liang Haiyan, son of the Grand Swordmaster. Rankings. First, Liang Haiyan 9051 PTs. Second, Han Sumi 928 PTs. Third, Moyong Jun 93 PTs. Moon Jun, isn't he the grandson of the sword sage? Kim-ho pondered. If Han Sumi is top tier, then Go Hunu isn't some pushover-y. Not long after the rankings updated, Sudak silently nodded. Just as I thought. New scores. First, Go Hunu 1023 PTs. Second, Li Shanghayan 951 PTs. Third, Han Sumi 928 PTs. Fourth, Moyang Jun 93 PTs. Fourth, Moyang Jun 93 PTs. As Hunu exited, whispers filled the area. Isn't that guy from that group? No wonder he did so well. Wait, over 1,000 points for real. Kim-ho rushed up with a beaming smile. Great job, Hunu politely replied. All thanks to you, senior. He happily extended his hand. Let me rest up now. Thanks to your advice during the duel test, I racked up a ton of points. Kim-ho scratched his head. You're flattering. Seeing their friendly exchange, someone behind them sneered. What's that guy's deal? Leeching off the top ranker like a loser. Another added, didn't he drop out of the duel exam? Hunu overheard and got mad. Hey, but Ho quickly stopped him. It's fine. Let it go. Hunu pouted and muttered, but Senior Ho quickly reassured him. I said, it's fine. Hunu sighed and lowered his voice. All right, if that's what you want, Kim, Senior. Kim-ho looked up and asked, everyone done? Hunu glanced at the board. Still no sign of Lady Chun-hai's result. Glancing at the still closed gate, Ho tilted his head. She's still in there. Meanwhile, inside the zone, Chun-hai was surrounded by a horde of monsters. She raised her sword and said, this is nothing. Suddenly, she flinched and shouted, what the hell? Seeing the monsters barely flinching, she was shocked. I knew the power would drop, but not that much. At that moment, Kim-ho's advice to Yane popped into her mind. If mana control is too hard, just aim for the heads when they come close. She was surprised to realize. Chan-hai clenched her fist, annoyed. Why is his voice echoing in my head now? Her mana was restricted, and wide-range spells were basically useless. Following his advice, she launched a pinpoint lightning spell. Fine, then aim for one spot. Lethal lightning strike. Just as she walked out, her score was displayed. Song Chung-hai 5. Seeing her poor score, her face flushed red. Why it show up so fast? This is so embarrassing. At that moment, Professor Sudok announced the end of the ranking test. Results will be out tomorrow. Rest up. Don't bomb the final. With that, he turned and walked away without a second glance. Cut to another room. A cheerful voice rang out. Yes, come in. Then a surprised gasp. Huh? Professor Lee Sudok, what brings you here? Professor Lee planted his hands on the desk. Voice firm. I want to see the dungeon challenge footage for Kim-ho from class 13. Oh, interested in a student. That's rare. Sudok lowered his voice, looking serious. No time for chit-chat. Show me the footage. The teacher quickly replied. Yes, let me check. Staring at the screen, the other teacher sighed. Kim-ho's replay wasn't saved, so it's unavailable. Sudok asked eagerly, what about the dungeon log? The supervisor hesitated. That would be in the access log. But Lee Sudok's eyes widened just as I thought that brat Kim-ho deleted his own dungeon rec. Looking at the score data, he grew suspicious. At this pace, he could have hit 2,000 points in 10 minutes. Kim-ho Foggy Forest 13. He started calculating in this Dragon Slayer Academy. The stronger your team, the more enemies you attract. Servants of dragons, cultists of evil gods. If one of them sneaked into the academy, we'd better get a plan ready fast. Sensing something was off, the teacher asked, should we report this to the principal? Sudok hesitated, but after a moment he firmly said, no, just monitor him for now. If info leaks without evidence, they'll only hide deep. He turned away, but his eyes stayed fixed on Kim-ho's info. If he really is a threat, he'll bare his fangs soon enough. We'll be watching on the screen. Kim-ho and Dunk and Tao's picture lit up in high definition. 3:27 p.m. Dragon Slayer Academy cafeteria. Kim-ho walked to the counter and said, one coffee please. Hunu chimed in, I too wish to experience this coffee. Yein stood beside them looking gloomy. I'm heading back. Seeing her drained face, Kim-ho didn't stop her. We'll hang around a bit longer. Putting his coffee down on the table, Kim-ho said to Hunu, take a look at that booklet we got at the end of class. Hunu replied, oh, you mean that little flimsy book? Staring at the pages in front of him, still not understanding much, Kim-ho encouraged him. That's exactly why we need coffee. Time to dig into what actually mattered today. He gently reminded him, start with your student card. On the card it read, Go Hun-woo, class 13, score 3069. Hunu gasped. Whoa, that score wasn't there before. Kim-ho explained, that number is your available points. Go Hun-woo, class 13, 3069 points. It's basically your currency here at Dragon Slayer Academy. Holding up a page from the booklet, Kim-ho pointed, you usually earn these from dungeon raids like earlier. You can use them to buy stuff or access facilities, and right now there's one thing worth spending on. Slamming the booklet on the table, he asked, did you notice the prompt about recording playback before you left the dungeon? Hunu jumped. Yeah, I saw that. Kim-ho grinned and said, well then you can actually buy it now. A screen popped up, purchased replay 100 points. View another student's dungeon run. Looking at the glowing orb in front of him, Hun-woo immediately recognized it. Han Somi's dungeon footage. Then Kim-ho remembered, since you ranked first, your footage is probably being bought like crazy right now. Right on cue, the screen lit up. Replay sold plus 100 points, plus 100 plus 100. Hunu exclaimed, whoa, it's skyrocketing. But suddenly, Hun-woo looked worried. Wait, isn't it bad if people see how I fight? Kim-ho sighed. Yeah, they'll try to pick apart every little weakness, even how you sneeze mid-dot. Kim-ho let out a sigh of relief. Luckily, this was a solo test, so you could aim for the top, but in direct combat it includes manuals. A weak core gets exposed right away. And he raised his voice and explained, still, the risk's worth it. We can use this to access the mana training room at the training center. A vision of a body brimming with mana popped into his head. The most important place there was the special mana room where the mana was extra thick, making your inner strength grow crazy fat. Hearing this, Hunu shot up and asked, there's really a place like that? Kim-ho answered without hesitation. Of course, but you need to qualify for. Hunu's and Unken's voice suddenly dropped. Then it must cost a ton of points. Kim-ho replied, yep, 500 points for every 6 hours. Hun-woo sat back down, scratching his head. So if I go every day, Kim-ho continued, you'll be broke and eating imaginary food. Hunu looked up any other options. Kim-ho grinned. There is Season Path. He told Hun-woo, only the top member of each faction gets one. To earn it, you'll have to snatch Moyang Junan Unkin T-Spot in the Night Order. Hearing that name made Hun-woo stutter nervously. Hun-woo mumbled, guess I'll have to be stingy with my points for now. Kim-ho offered, I'll get it for you. Just promise to repay me later. Hun-woo curiously asked, what do you want from me? Kim-ho stared into his eyes. Join me in the deep dungeon. Let's and Unkin-shi level up together. Under the table, Hun-woo clenched his pants tightly. Kim-ho and Unkin-shi's voice echoed in his ears. But thinking back to that foggy forest earlier, it could be dangerous. You still want in? Surprised by his intensity, Hun-woo replied firmly, a martial artist should always crave strength. You've already laid the path out. Thumping his chest with conviction, he declared, there's no way I'd turn down my benefactor. Of course I'm in, Kim-hoya. Seeing the fire in Hun-woo Unkin's eyes, Kim-ho smiled, great, then go all in. Burn those points and root yourself in the special mono room. I'll get that season pass in 2 weeks. Without hesitation, Hun-woo replied, 2 weeks it is, I'll wait. Meanwhile, Kim-ho had a thought, while he levels up, I'll do some gear trading. At workshop number 4, Kim-ho gently pushed open the door and cautiously said, "Excuse me." Inside, a figure was focused on their work and responded, "Who is it?" Kim-ho stepped in with an awkward smile. "Hi, I'm here because I'm interested in the Magic Engineering Club." The guy still soldering asked, "Then why not go to workshop 1 first?" Kim-ho explained, "I did, but they told me to start from workshop 4. The repair guy grumbled, clearly annoyed. He took off his goggles, revealing tired, dark-circled eyes that perfectly matched his cranky face. "Look around if you want, but don't bother us. We're busy." Understanding the senior's stress, Kim-ho politely turned away. "Okay, I'll look around quietly." Watching the guy skillfully handle the soldering, Kim-ho guessed, this dude's magic engineering skill must be at least grade. Before leaving, he stealthily extended his hand behind the guy and activated copy. He thought to himself, target 1 complete. The system popped up. Skill added to empty slot. Magic Engineering B copied skills. 221 Whistlebird E2. Magic Engineering B. Kim-ho glanced at the still busy repairman and thought, the next target must be somewhere nearby. A migraine slowly spread on his face. "There it is," he said to himself, holding up an odd object. He called out, "Hey, I found this. It looks valuable." The repair guy looked over that a 10x. The guy casually explained, "You'd need mad high-level skills to even try. No one touches it. It's basically junk." But Kim-ho stared at the cube with fascination. "So cool. If you don't need it, I'll take it. Not for free, of course." The system displayed, purchased, acquired. Thermal reaction catalyst, minus 1000 points. Kim-ho beamed and handed over an item. "Here you go." He was confident in what he gave. The thermal reaction catalyst wasn't top tier, but in magic engineering it was always use. The repair guy accepted it just this once. "Okay, and don't go blabbing." Kim-ho cheerfully replied, "Thanks, big bro." Behind Kim-ho, the guy happily held the vial. "Sweet, saved 1000 points." Kim-ho chuckled inside. "Dude sold me trash for 1000 points. Who wouldn't be happy?" Looking at his system screen, Kim-ho wondered, is this really junk? New side quest appeared, the cube beyond the gate. A strange cube found in the Magic Engineering Workshop. Goal, rank average or higher in placement exam to unlock quest chain. Reading that, he smirked. So it was junk. No sane person would bother with this nonsense. Final quest reward. S-rank item, the life cube. Entering a room, a thought popped up. I've upgraded so many S-rank heroes already. This was the mono room at the training center. Hugging the cube, he thought, I already know how to use it. Who needs a quest? On screen, use Amplify Upgrade Magic Engineering from B to S. Duration 59 seconds. Cooled on 58 minutes 58 seconds. Kim-ho eagerly raised the cube. Let's go. With each twist, the countdown ticked. Time left 47 sec. Kim-ho picked up another cube. The timer read 14 seconds left. He thought, at this pace, I'll finish in 3 days. Soon after, a message appeared. Nearing completion, he exhaled. 1 minute flies fat. Kim-ho sat cross-legged in front of the cube, thinking, if I drop rank, I can't use it. Better meditate and refine my core. The timer hit 0. Kim-ho suddenly opened his eyes, thinking, meditate. Twist 1 minute. Repeat. Custom alert. Amplify activated. Duration 1 minute. Upgrade Magic Engineering from B to F. He placed his hand on the cube, purple energy swirling around his knuckles. He reminded himself he had to finish the life cube before Friday, because that event kicks off on the first Friday. Yup, seeing the sunlight cutting through the walls, he realized, oh, it's already morning. Time for school. Kim-ho sat at his desk and greeted Yain. Good morning. You're here early. She glanced at him coldly and replied, yeah, I woke up early. Seeing the seat next to him still empty, he wondered, Hanwoo's not here yet. Suddenly, Yain slid a small package his way. Here are some cookies. He looked surprised and exclaimed, oh, for me, thank. Picking one up, he grinned. Dino cookies. These are awesome. Just then, Hanwoo arrived behind them. Kim Hunio, Miss Yain, good morning. While munching the cookie, Kim-ho asked, why so late? How was the special room? Hanwoo excitedly replied, that was insane. I've never seen my energy rise that fast. I think I'm about to break through. Hearing that, Kim-ho beamed. Great. I'll get the seasonal pass as soon as I can. Hunu smiled gratefully. Thanks, bro. Meanwhile, Yane pouted inside, thinking they're not even real dinosaurs. Just then, Sudok entered with a stern tone. Everyone, quiet down and take your seat. Standing at the podium, arms crossed, the teacher announced, before class, a quick notice. Starting today, we'll begin direct combat matches in the arena. Sudok briefly explained the rules. 10-minute time limit, random map deathmatch rules. Then he added, first years must participate in at least 3 matches this week. Skip it and lose points. You've been warned. Kim-ho smirked after hearing that. So it begins. I'll win this combat round. After thinking for a moment, he walked over, placed his hand on Hanwoo on Hunkin-C's shoulder. Let's hit the arena. First matches are the juiciest. As Hunu responded, a small hand tugged his sleeve. Okay, let's go already. Yain looked at him with hopeful eyes. I'm free today. The students behind looked confused. So did he. Huh? Wait, what do you mean? After regaining composure, he asked, "You mean training Monolith like last time?" Yain nodded slowly. "Yeah," he sighed in relief. "Alright, I'll see you later then." Yain emotionlessly replied, "Okay." That afternoon at the arena, as Kim Ho and Hunu entered, a curious voice spoke up. It belonged to from a distance. Yang Jeong scoffed. "You heard that guy's friends surrendered before even fighting Lady Song. No respect at all. What a coward. Just heard about it recently." Han Wu shouted angrily. "You really run your mouth like that in public?" He was about to say more, but a hand stopped him. "Pathetic." Han Wu blinked in confusion. Kim Ho ignored the two and casually asked, "Did you take the ranking test? I got 300 points. What about you?" Jiang immediately broke into a sweat, though still tried to act cocky. He yelled, "You think I'm the same rank as some no-name guy like you if it weren't for meeting Chanhai in round 2. Hearing that name, Kim Ho and Unkin T's voice lit up. "Song Chunhai. Oh yeah, the one who got struck by lightning and had to be carried out. That was you." Veins popped on Jiang's face as he forced a smile. "What did you say?" Jiang growled word by word. "Fine. Good thing we scored the same." With a smug face, he pointed his spear at him and shouted, "Get down here, you coward. I'll show you the wall you'll never cross." Right after that, a duel was initiated between the two. Yang Zhong versus Kim Ho 100%. Ji Hong twirled his spear with arrogance. "Just one strike is all I need." Kim Ho calmly nodded. "One hit is all it takes." The referee signaled and the two instantly lunged at each other. It began with the spear tip heading straight for his face. Kim Ho didn't even blink. He whispered mockingly. Idiot fell for it again. The screen says paralysis effect applied. Jiang blinked. "Wait, what?" Kim Ho raised his weapon, voice cold as ice. "Sorry, but you won't get away in one shot like Si Chun Hai." Jiang panicked and tried to block. There was a 2-con delay. Too slow. A blade slashed down, followed by a miserable scream. The big screen showed the result. Yang Jiang lost. Kim Ho won. Kim Ho shrugged with a smirk. "Well, the coward just won." Jiang gritted his teeth. "I was just careless. Let's fight again. I'll win this time." Kim Ho didn't even flinch. "Oh, then let's do it again." The screen reset. Yang Yong versus Kim Ho. 100%, 100%. Jiang roared. "This time won't be so easy." And the match began again. A while later, the screen once again showed. Yang Ji Hong lost. Kim Ho won. Looking at Ji Hong's battered body, he said, "Good enough. You did well." Suddenly, Jiang sat up and muttered, "Wait, I want to apologize for how rude I was earlier." Scratching his head, he awkwardly admitted, "I judged you too soon. You're not a coward." Kim Ho casually turned away. "Nah, just let me be the coward for now." Ji Hong blinked. "Be the coward for now." After Kim Ho left, Jiang mumbled, "Alright, I won't tell anyone. I can't be the only one suffering." At that moment, Kim Ho walked up cheerfully. "Go Han Wu, I'm done." "How about you?" he replied brightly. "I've already won 2 matches." Staring at the system screen, Han Wu said, "I'll finish my 3rd match before heading out." "Kim Ho, you go first." Kim Ho cheered him on. "Alright, do your best." Later at the mana training room, Kim Ho asked nervously, "Did you wait long?" "Come sit." Yain replied flatly, "Yeah." The two sat facing each other, beginning their first lesson on mana bullet. Kim Ho tested her current skill level. "Try forming a mana bullet." Seeing the mana floating steadily in her palm, he thought, damn, she could push Song Chunghai into a corner just by randomly making these blob. Her confused gaze didn't faze him. "Let's start with distribution first. Use the right amount of mana for 1 bullet. Next." Sometime later, her performance screen popped up. Score CO 99%, Quack, GL 98%. Jill crouched under a mountain shielded by a mono layer. He carefully calculated his blind spots. "As long as I stay hidden from the guard's view, I can use the terrain. But digging through all these dunes..." But Yane had a special eye. She spotted an odd monoflow among the dune. Thought crossed Jial and Unkini's mind. "Even if she blows up all the dunes, my barrier won't break." As a bullet grazed past him, he coolly thought, no need to worry about someone who can't even break through Song Changhai's shield. Then panic hit as his barrier shattered. Wait, what the heck was that? From afar, Yang kept aiming directly at him. The bullets rained down. Jial clutched his head, screaming, "Ow, ow." After the chaos, the results showed. So Yain wins versus Quack. Jial lose. Scene change inside a tall building. One room stayed lit late into the night. A magical orb displayed Ji Hong's match. A thought surfaced. The hummingbird's erratic movement. Her control is top tier. Teacher Sudok was rewatching everyone's matches closely. In the second round, too, she's just toying with them. Looking at the cluttered desk, he muttered, but that's not the only issue here. In front of him, Chanhai's orb, Seo Yoni and Unkin and just then, Jial and Unkin's terrified face flashed as the crude blobs turned into perfect bullets. Can someone change that much in just 2 days? Dok recalled Kim Ho's words during class. You meant practicing mono bullets like yesterday, right? Fine, I'll meet you later. His face soured instantly. This guy again. Seeing Kim Ho's always calm face, Sudok wondered, Kim Ho, who are you really? At the same time, the energy cube completed formation. Kim Ho silently rejoiced. It's done. Finally done. Right then, the screen flashed. Life Cube B enhances life storage items by 1.3 times. Watching the reactions under his hands, he smiled. Yep, it's finally perfected. Life Cube B now boosts life storage items by 1.3x. He raised his head with a sly grin. Thanks to the amplification skill I got as a reward, I completed this just in time and leveled up my core to rank D. Also got tons of cash. That poor crying kid really burned mana like crazy, but his cash helped. A random idea sparked in Kim Ho's head. Everything's ready. Time to start the rumor mill. Just then, like fate itself lending a hand, he turned around. Oh hey, perfect timing. It was the Nature Club's genius druid from the Federation. With that thought, Kim Ho quietly approached her. Park Nari, sorry to bother you, but I need your help. He cast a spell in front of a bewildered Nari. Animals are more sensitive to life energy. No way one of them would ignore. She jumped and looked at Kim Ho. Bumma, what's wrong? He smirked, watching it hop around. Just as I thought. Meanwhile, Nari panicked and reached toward Buma. Sorry, I'll take it out right now. Buma, get out here now. In that moment, Kim Ho observed her closely. Yep, total druid vibes. She felt the life energy. Time to play along. Grimaced and said, I'm in a hurry, just get the pet out already. Nari, more flustered, yanked hard. Sorry, it's never acted like this before. After a while, Nari looked up at him curiously. Hey, aren't you in class 3? Kim Ho nodded without hiding. Hearing that, Nari gave an awkward smile. Well, sorry then, you should go. He smiled kindly, but inside he was smug. Perfect. The Nature Club will hear about this. Getting that colored ticket just got easier. Let the real event begin. Meanwhile, the instructor's voice droned on. A common pairing is a goblin warrior and a melee swordsman. Turn to page 76. On the other hand, Kim Ho stared ahead, absent-mindedly tapping the desk. 1 more minute till lunch. 59 seconds now. The instructor slammed the book shut and dismissed the class. He kept counting. 32 seconds, points. Angel stretched and yawned. Finally over. He stared in confusion at a glowing orb. What the? Suddenly, intense heat radiated from the orb, and the student started screaming. After the chaos, Bing Chol looked down at his wrist, dazed. What just happened? There's nothing here. He looked around the room, feeling puzzled. What the heck is that orb? A barrier? My poor heart. At the same time, a male student pointed. Hey, there's a number above your head. A girl blinked. Wait, you have one too. Surprise item inspection at Dragon Slayer Academy. Forbidden wave activated. A magnetic field detected students carrying prohibited items. Anything inappropriate was added to the ban list. The forbidden wave aims to sniff out illegal gear. Kim Ho broke out in a cold sweat. Welp, I'm screwed. Damn sound effects are terrifying, but this is Sudok's doing. While others panicked, Hanwoo looked amused. This is going to be fun. Kim Ho sighed. These two didn't even bring anything. He glanced toward Bang Chill. But that guy, oh boy. The guy was panicking, pulling at his hair. What the heck? What is this? In a flash, Kim Ho walked over. Didn't your club president warn you about an inspection today? Baingsh muttered. Yeah, but not like this. Indeed. At the same time, Kim Ho began negotiating. Want my help or not? The guy glanced over, half doubting. Seriously. Hearing that, Kim Ho shrugged and turned to leave. Fine, forget it. Baingsh quickly grabbed him. No, it's my honor, boss. I'll do any. Moments later, Kim Ho sat down with satisfaction. You owe me now, Baingsh elbowed frantically. Yes, boss. Kim Ho touched a cube and spoke in a low voice. Put the items in here, just the rare and foldable stuff. The guy looked confused. What happens when I put them in? Kim Ho urged. No time to explain, just do it. Seeing Baingsh still hesitating, Kim Ho pretended to glance around. Looks like someone's coming. Class is starting. The guy instantly trembled. Hai's stern voice rang from the classroom door. Everyone sit down. The atmosphere froze. She raised her voice. What are you two doing over there? Kim Ho coolly responded. Sleeping. Chun-Hai squinted at him. Really? Bai Cho hurried to back him up. Yeah, just a quick nap, but she didn't care. Hand over any banned items. She raised her hand and a pale blue orb floated in front of her. I don't know how you slipped through, but your little tricks won't fool this orb. Then she slowly moved the orb toward him. No way. After a moment of silence, Kim Ho spoke. It's not reacting. Can I go now? She frowned. Sit down. He calmly took a seat, lips curling into a smug smile. This is why I wanted to wrap it up before Friday. For a second, Chun-Hai leaned in and Kim Ho screamed internally. That item can bypass forbidden waves. Anyone who knew its real value would kill for it. Time to make a trade. Outside, Bike expressed his gratitude. Seriously, thanks. Without you, I'd be mopping floors or dead in some random alley. Kim Ho grinned deviously. I'll be collecting on that favor. Think of it as a loan. Baingsh nodded. Of course, boss. I'll never forget this debt. Then Kim Ho warned, take those banned items to your club room. Bai quickly nodded. Got it. The club president wants to meet you too. From trading contraband to stirring trouble. Welcome to Dragon Slayer Academy's Little Devils, the Thieves Club. A while later, Bang Chul appeared at the door. He scratched his head awkwardly. Big sis, we're back. Female voice screamed from inside, followed by a flying kick. Didn't I tell you to stay clean this week? What did you do now? She stomped on Bang Chol, fuming. I said it was important. He covered his head, begging. I'm sorry. Please stop. Amid the chaos, Kim Ho calmly stepped in. Hello, ma'am. Reporting in. I'm Kim Ho. Zhao Yong turned sharply and shot him a cold glare. I'm Zhang Zhao Yu Yong, I guess you figured it out. I'm the club president. She gave Bang Cho one more stomp. I heard about today. A banned item slipped through the wave. Huh? Show me. Kim Ho politely replied. Yes, ma'am. A moment later, Jia Yong couldn't help but exclaim, damn, that's the real deal. Honestly, I had to see it to believe. She eyed it hungrily, hands reaching out unconsciously. Something that can trick the forbidden wave. I'd totally snatch this if I could. Kim Ho cautiously warned. You'd get caught right away. He stared at Jia Yong suspiciously. No way. The mastermind of the Thieves Club doesn't know about anti-theft charms, right? She looked away in annoyance. What? It's magic tech. Okay. Instantly, Jia Yong leaned back in her chair and spoke with fake indifference. Anyway, you're here for something, aren't you? Kim Ho chuckled. Knew you. Pick that up. Sit. She casually waved around the room. Take a look. Nothing here. This club's dirt poor. Kim Ho shook his head and looked at her. Doesn't matter. What I want is within your power. Jia Yu Yong looked doubtful, and that is without hesitation. Kim Ho stated his request. Let me into the temporary storage. Jia Yu Yong's face instantly changed. She raised her voice. Who the hell are you? The temporary storage is where confiscated items wait to be destroyed. Normally at the end of the week, the stuff gets reviewed, then vanishes into some secret vault no one knows. But Kim Ho quickly guessed latest by tonight or tomorrow. Zhao Yong ignored that and continued pressing. Answer me. Did the disciplinary committee send you? Caught off guard, Kim Ho denied it fast. What? No way. I can't stand those guys. I just need something from there. She shook her head firmly. Even if I'm grateful, I can't let you in for free. Took me forever to set this up. Friends or not, no accept. Kim Ho slammed his hand on the cube and spoke coldly. The committee's guarding the temp storage, right? Breaking in is hard, getting out is harder. He looked her in the eye with determination. But if I can guarantee a way out, that should be enough for a pass, right? She began calculating. If we manage to sneak in, Kim Ho cut in. We split the loot on exit and call it E. In his mind, he knew she can't say no now. He looked up and stared at her. You insist amid this island group had gathered near the mountainside. At that moment, Zhao Yong turned to them. Everyone here. One guy quickly replied, glancing at Kim Ho. Yeah, but who's this guy? Zhao Yong